Thanks, Scott. Thanks, everybody, for coming. I'm glad to be here. I'm going to give a real quick update on things in the State House. Just be forewarned, the Senate is in the process of killing a lot of really good bills right now, so this might be out of date by about a week. But anyway, so, oh, shit. Clicker doesn't work. Oh, there we go, there we go. All right, so let's start with crim justice. One of my favorite things about crim justice, anytime they try to push some kind of anti-drug bill, it comes down to the House floor and we overturn the committee recommendation and they get really frustrated, like the leadership of that committee. But if you look up here, so it's like cannabis was killed by the Senate, of course, because that's just like, if there's something you know about New Hampshire, it's we'll pass cannabis out of the House like a 250 to 150, and then it goes over to the Senate and they just kill it every damn time. 207 is actually a weird thing in our law right now where we don't have blackjacks and slingshots and brass knuckles are currently not legal to own. Everybody just kind of sells them as paperweights, and that's something that Spillane's been trying to push over. We think we're going to get it. We stuffed it in the budget. So if you look at my slides here, I put like budget in parentheses. That's stuff that we put in the budget for a negotiation tactic against the Senate so that they can't kill our good stuff. As you can see, we killed the gun control bills that the Democrats always tried to stuff down our throats. But there's a nefarious one that was filed by one of our side. Is 159, which is a red flag law. It was filed by our side. Last year, it actually snuck out of the House, and the Senate did us a solid and killed it. This time around, we killed it out of the House outright. We're not going to stand for that crap in New Hampshire. Some of these are fun. There was a transparency of federal agency operations in New Hampshire. That one's always interesting. That's like whenever the feds, like ATF or whatever they are going to conduct a raid, we want to know that it's happening. We want them to notify the legislature. Let's go through the next one. Child and family law, parental bill of rights is big. That's whether or not the schools or the state own your children or you have the right to decide what's best for your child. We did pass that out of the House this year. It's going to go over to the Senate. We're going to see where that goes. So enabling the Treasury to invest in metals and crypto is a good hedge against the overinflated dollar. We definitely want something much more solid to base our economy on, and that did pass out of the House as well. So creation of social districts was interesting. That's kind of like Mardi Gras, where it would allow people to be like in like a downtown area or something and just walking around with like free liquor. There's like a lot of like micro liberty things that like came through the House that are really fantastic, and that's like a good example of one. So 529 is actually filed by a Democrat. This one's about like to-go drinks and extending last call. And like there's a girl named Jessica Grill who's like really good about like, she's like the party girl on the other side, but like that's like a good micro liberty thing to like look for. And like I love to support stuff like that. I would have co-sponsored it had I known she filed it. Come on. Education, yes, universal education choice. There's going to be panels about this later today. We passed that out of the House. The Senate also has a companion bill that's on the other side. Theirs is a little worse than ours. This is going to make it so that regardless of income, regardless of your status, you have the choice to educate your child how you choose, and that's fantastic. We did pass that out of the House. That's been like one of the things we've been fighting for a long time. Prohibition of masks is from Kristen Noble. That prohibits the local districts from masking your children. We do not want that. We know that it's causing developmental issues into children. We're already seeing the problems of that. Thank you. And the Democrats, they filed like piles and piles of attacks on EFAs, so the education freedom accounts. It was stuff like background checks on parents. They didn't want it to go to religious schools, all kinds of absurd things. We managed to kill every single one of those attacks. The top one is, you guys remember Peanut and Fred, right? So we did have a bill. I had a video clip, but I didn't get it in here. It was during the PI, Granger said, if I know that squirrels are people too, and got a good chuckle. That didn't pass out of the House, sadly, but we can always try again in the future. More stuff about like exempting certain kinds of meat to be sold for intrastate, like if you want like rabbit meat passed out of the House, things like that. Like I think it was like last year it was like caribou and stuff. Like so we're constantly trying to expand like the food options from various farmers in the state. Air rifles used in hunting was like some kind of I think edge case, as Spillane explained it, that they're now going to be permitted or now going to be permitted. Oh my goodness. So the executive departments is actually where a lot of the stuff, a lot of good heavy lifting gets done at the State House. This is like keeping the executive departments in check. And one in particular is the Office of Professional Licensure. So Carol McGuire has this bill here, I think in the next slide here. Let me just do this. Yes, so these are my favorite kind of bills. It's basically stripping a whole bunch of crap out of law. And this was like all that, like it's like land surveyors, alcohol and other professionals, professional engineers, like these things, like various types of things where just like a whole chunk of regulation is like stuffed in the RSA. And this is the, like, these are just 4 examples from that one super bill that just strips these out. It's just repeal, 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 repeal. These are my favorite kind of bills to see get filed. Health and Human Services. So that top one is actually, it was a brainchild of Emily Phillips. She ran for Senate. I don't know if you guys knew her. She tried to primary out Bill Gannon. Right now, the state covers optional medical procedures like circumcision, and that was something we tried to remove. Yeah, the Senate doesn't like it, obviously. Biosimilars is interesting. That one's a really good health freedom thing. That allows for like competition in the market for things that are similar to like existing like the meds that are currently available on the market. Biosimilars are something that could be a cheaper alternative to people. I have a feeling the Senate's going to kill it because their lobbyists are very in tune with the medical industry. Right to try is 701. This is like if you'd like, if there's experimental drugs out there that might make your life better, might help you live. This gives you the right to experiment on yourself to extend your life without the government standing in your way. I don't know if this video. It's not going to play. Can't hear it. Oh, you can skip it. So this was a fun, can you skip it? It won't let me go through. Oh, there we go. So there's no audio, but it was a funny video of Julius Sodi. I'm sorry. Housing is where a bunch of heavy lifting is happening this year. So like when they polled Grand Estaters over the last year and they asked folks, what is the #1 thing you'd like to see solved at the State House, like the biggest problem in the state? Like the polls came back like overwhelmingly that we are in the middle of a housing crisis. And this is actually causing like a big rift in the Republican Party right now, because you can see it on Twitter if you follow me or some of the other people like Jeremy Slotjay. We're arguing against ourselves on whether the state has the right to protect the individual property owner or quote unquote local control is the way to go, where you can let petty tyrants just dictate what you can and can't do on your own personal property. So like a lot of these fights are coming down, and like the Democrats are largely on our side, except for like they want even worse things. They want their idea of like they want local control or top-down state control in the form of things like mandatory housing, like projects and things like that are subsidized by the government. We just want people to allow, like if you want to build an ADU, like an accessory dwelling unit on your own little property, the town shouldn't be able to come in and stop you. As long as you have a well that can support it and the sewer system that can do it, why not? Some of these are fantastic, so we have like the Study Commission for the New Hampshire Zoning Act that's like perhaps looking into like maybe we gave these towns too much authority. We really need to evaluate what they should and shouldn't be able to regulate at the local level. Permitting residential buildings in commercial zones, that's something like if you walk around like in like downtown Portsmouth or some of these like historic areas that you know, like you picture in your brain, areas of New Hampshire, it's like, oh, well, let me picture a nice quaint downtown. They'll have like a lot of mixed use things where they'll have like a first floor shop and a second floor apartment or housing unit. That's largely illegal now in most towns in the state. That's been like phased out because of the Zoning Act. And this thing was going to allow that to be by right if you're, of course, everything always comes down to water and sewer and septic and things like that. But as long as your septic can accommodate it and the water can accommodate it, there's nothing to say that you can't put a second floor housing unit over a commercial real estate. Mandatory parking requirements was like another way that they basically say that like if you have an apartment, you have to have as a like the town comes in and tells the apartment owner, well, you need 2 spots per bedroom or something along those lines, right? So this just takes that, I think the current state law is 1.5 spaces per bedroom, and now it just shrinks it down to 1. It's just allowing more options, and the market will decide. Like if somebody's offering 2 different apartments, and like this guy's offering 2 spaces, this one's offering 1 space, you can choose what's best for your family, as opposed to the state coming in and saying mandatory, you must have this many parking spaces. There's a bunch of Democrat infringements on property rights, like rent control and crazy crap was in that committee. Thankfully, we have a majority, so we're able to kill all that this time around. All right, so I started like putting a bunch of the committees together. So right to work was killed, sadly. That was actually a friendly fire thing where one of our own went down there and indefinitely postponed, which means like kill for the entire 2-year session. This is like where you guys get involved. So like if you are aware of some of these people, we're always looking for candidates to run. Like it's sometimes hard to drum up support. So like if you live in some of these towns where these individuals would fight against a caucus priority like this, it'd be really fantastic if we saw you joining me in the State House in 2 years. So another one that got killed was prohibiting taxpayer money from being used for lobbying. This was another contentious issue. Right now it's like your money's being used via, it gets stuffed into like either the municipal association, school board association, whatever it is, like your town tax money goes to these organizations that your towns then pay, and then they come up to the State House and they lobby against your interests. Yeah, it's terrible. That was also killed, sadly. This one's prohibit public funding for passenger rail. This is like Aiden Ankerberg's thing. He filed that. He was just going to make it so like the state can never look into funding private rail, because that's something the Dems have been pushing for a long time. They want to extend that commuter rail from Boston like all the way up to Concord or wherever the hell they want that thing to go. So we did kill things like minimum wage, like the typical leftist type of like micro control over what you can do between you and your employees. So wage payment options is actually interesting. So like that was just like a RSA change where all they do is strip out from the RSA the stuff that requires that you have to pay in dollars. Like right now, now if this gets through, we can have it so you can agree with your employer how you'd like to be paid. If you want to be paid in gold, that would be legal under if this passes. If that's how, between you and your employer, that's how you can decide. Science, tech, and energy. They're doing a lot of good work this time around. So like right now we're looking to phase out all of like the green energy subsidies and things like that. This is going to be a big lift because it's something very heavily ingrained in our system right now. That top one is hilarious. I'm not going to be able to play the video. I'll share it on Twitter, but there's like this raving leftist lost her mind over this bill, saying that it was going to allow for unregulated nuclear reactors to be built in your neighborhood and that it's a step towards secession. It was a very funny rant. I apologize the audio's not working because that will be the next clip. So we're also, the Department of Energy is going to investigate, this is like another study committee, like we need to see if we can leave ISO New England, which is like the big overarching regulatory body that like binds all of New England together, and it pretty much like dictates like green energy policy and things like that, and we're just stuck in with this. There's other things that like we can't really do a whole lot about because of like green regulations in states. Like all we need is a damn pipeline in a lot of cases, just from like Pennsylvania up through New York and Massachusetts and or Vermont to just get us some natural energy or natural gas from that area. And like we're just, yeah, it would be great if we can make that happen, but I don't think it's going to happen. And then phase out the renewable energy portfolio. And then Keith Ammon, I don't know if he's here, he formed an emerging technologies caucus, and they're doing everything. They're talking about like crypto, nuclear, AI, things like that. It's fantastic stuff. Like I'm a member, but like I haven't been able to attend any of the meetings, but they've done like field trips to some of these places, like energy, like Seabrook and things like that around the state to just like keep the legislators up to know with the most recent technology. And it is a bipartisan caucus, so it's cool that it's seen that level of adoption. I don't think this is going to play. Oh, did you get it?
We have a little microphone we can turn on.
Oh, do it. This one's, yeah.
If it works.
It opens the door to a dangerous and unregulated energy free-for-all.
Oh, she's the one, Cole.
An electric wild, wild west, where safety, oversight, and consumer protections are thrown aside in the name of deregulation. Allow unregulated nuclear power to take root. There's nothing stopping private entities from deploying small nuclear reactors that the rabid, fetid, decaying, and maggot-filled piece of roadkill that we affectionately call secession still haunts these halls. Be aware of a possible long game here.
All right. So, state and federal. I see Dan McKnight down there. So we did retain Defend the Guard. There's going to be an entire panel about it tomorrow. We'll talk about it in a lot more detail. It is retained in my committee. We'll hopefully get to it next year. Bad news about that top one, it just got killed in committee this week. So that was repealing of the Selective Service Compliance Act. Got killed in committee on the Senate side because I love the Senate so much. They're so fantastic. Thank you so much. We also have a House concurrent resolution that's asking Congress to repeal the Jones Act, which is, for those that are unfamiliar, it's the reason we can't get natural gas via liquefied natural gas tankers from our own ports within the United States without hitting like Nova Scotia or something first. It's ridiculous. It's been around since the 1910s. It's like a massive protectionist racket. And then I wanted to get to transport. Okay, fantastic. Transportation. I saw Steve Zemanek back there. So we got, Jeremy Olson. They've been kicking ass with this. We're trying to get rid of the damn car inspections. It's like everyone hates these things. We're trying to get rid of it. And we got it out of the House clean, just literally just stripping stuff from RSA. We're not replacing with anything. We're going to see what the Senate does to it. We also stuffed it in the budget as like another shot across the bow, like we're dead serious about this thing. And like what I want to say here is, come on, give me the miss. Yes. This activism, this level of activism is fantastic. So they just walked around like a bunch of like Concord and Manchester, just these wards, and they flyered these cars with these that had inspired inspection stickers saying, "Contact your reps. We're trying to get rid of this BS program." And on the right is my senator, Darrell Abbas. They flyered his car, and he texted me. He wasn't expired at the time, but I think it's funny because it sends the message like, "Hey, we're watching." But this is a fantastic form of activism that anybody can do. They print these out on like a home printer, then they walked around their street, found expired stickers. This got it out of the House, I swear. So anyway, thank you guys. That's my update from the state. So if you guys want to engage after, I'm happy to just talk to me out in the hallway. I'll be around all day.